Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to the Southampton team guide for FM19. Let's get straight into it. We're going to check the finances, what the board expect, and all that sort of good stuff. Give you a rough idea of what's going on with the club, what I do to improve the team, and all that sort of thing. So if we see what the board expect us to achieve this season, hope that's not the same thing for Mark Hughes, because he's fucked otherwise. Top half. This could be quite a challenging save, boys. 5th round of the FA Cup and 4th round of the League Cup. We've got 33 million pounds to spend. That's not too bad. 150 grand on wages as well. So we've got a couple of players worth there of money. If we have a quick look at the staff, not too bad. Probably could do with improving a couple of these scouts. We've got a couple of spots for coaches as well. But if we go into the team report, we only have one right back, no depth at left back, no depth at left wing. No depth overall. Okay, lack of depth. We are a puddle currently, but let's have a go and have a look at it. So in goal, we have Angus Gunn, which is just a great name for a footballer, and he's all right, isn't he? He's decent, and then we've got Alex McCarthy as his backup, or, maybe they might fight it out for that first team spot. Yeah, it's all right. We'll have a look at the rest of the team, but that already could be a weakness. At centre-backs, we've got Vestergaard, who's actually pretty good, and he's only 25. I like him. He's going to be straight in the team. Wesley Hood. No idea how to pronounce that. Similar sort of stats. A little bit slower. Good ball-playing defender, though. That's very nice. You've got Yoshida, who's 29 years old. Not too bad. Decent sort of 3rd or 4th choice. We've got a guy here who's loan listed. Bednarik, who's actually decent. I don't mind him as a 3rd, 4th choice if we've got no others. We've got Ryan Bertrand, who's not a centre-back. He can't jump. He's 5'10", can't jump, not great heading. He's definitely more of a left wing-back, so that's okay. But I'm going to, for the time being, anyway, just remove him off loan. And then we've got Jack Stevens, who's another solid centre-back. Not exceptional. Physicals are a little bit lower on him, but he's a bit younger, 24 years old. We'll have a look through the reserves and stuff in a minute and loaning, see if there's any good ones. But we'll get rid of everybody that's out on loan, which is quite a number of people. Anybody else? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So centre-backs, I'm pretty pleased with what we've got. So we only have one right back, and that's Cedric, but he's pretty decent. Yeah, he'll do for the season or two, depending on how desperate we get. But that's it for left backs. We've got right back. Bertrand on the left back, as well as Matthew Targett. So I think he's pretty good going forward. So I think that's pretty cool on the left back. Then we've got Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who's a really good deep line playmaker, solid, absolutely solid player, only 22, so he's going to improve. I like him very much. We've got Romeo, who is a more defensive option and can play in that DM role. We've got Lamina, 24 years old Gabonese, who is pretty... It's one of them minutes. Some mental issues, not psychiatry type mental issues, just the numbers are bad, all right? But he's okay. And we've got Stephen Davies, who's a very good player, but he's 33 years old now. His physicals are gone. I think he's going to be more of an impact sub this year, but I definitely would keep him. James Ward-Prowse, never really lived up to the potential. He's always been that, he could be really good guy. And again, physicals are a little bit low, but he's a decent playmaker. Can play on this right. He's got really good crossing, but he does have not great pace for a winger. But that's still a possibility we can use him there. And then we've got Stuart Armstrong, who's 26-year-old Scottish player. Never heard of him in my life. And he looks all right. He could potentially play as a striker as well. Remember, don't always just assume that we have to play attacking midfielder. That these roles don't always show you the best potential position to play this guy in. Definitely could play as a striker if needed as well. We've got Nathan Redmond, who's a really good winger, inside forward. I probably more likely to use him as a winger on the right-hand side. As an inside forward, he's only got 10 composure, 10 finishing, which is a little bit weak. And also, if he's arriving late in the box, he has no height whatsoever. 3 heading, which is exceptionally low. I know headless people with better heading than that, to be honest. I don't know. I know headless people. Nearly headless Nick from Harry Potter has better... Wow, this is a tenuous link, isn't it? Has better heading. Oh, just leave it. Should have just left it. Elanuisi is a 23-year-old Norwegian. Another winger. We've got one more wingers. I'm noticing a lot more in FM18 and then now FM19. A lot more inside forward type players. But we've got actually some decent wingers here. Then we've got Gabbiadini, who's a striker that doesn't really score that many goals. Who's okay. How much is he worth? 25 mils. Potentially could, if we need the cash to sell. Then we've got Shane Long, who really doesn't score any goals. I think his time might be up, boys. He's worth 13 million. I'd 100% cash in on that. He's got pace. And he works hard. He's just not going to put away chances. But as a pressing forward, he's not too bad. Then we've got Danny Ings, who I really rate. I kind of wish he stayed at Liverpool. He's loaned and he's joining permanently at the beginning of next year. So treat him as your own player, a solid all-round player, decent in the air as well. Not the paciest, but really decent. And then we've got Charlie Austin, a bit injury-prone, but a solid striker. Maybe somebody you could think about cashing in on. And then we've got the youngster Sam Gallagher, who's loan-listed. First touch is pretty weak. Composure's not great. But other than that, he's decent in the air. He's a pretty solid player. I might look to go an old school 4-4-2 here, to be honest, because we've got Target who could also play left mid and actually would be pretty decent at it as well. I'd probably look to go a 4-4-2 because I like our strike options. We've got 5 strikers, remember. So we really, unless we're going to sell a bunch, we really need to be using 2 strikers. And I think a 4-4-2 would work pretty well. We've got wingers. We've got Redmond, we've got Elanuisi, we've got Ward-Prowse-ish. What we lack, so how much have we got to spend? Decent amount of cash. Remember, top half as well. This is going to be quite a challenge. The team's okay without being exceptional. I think I'd cash in on... If I'm going to play... I need to keep 2. I'd probably get rid of one of these... I really want to get... I'll get rid of both. I'm getting rid of Gabbiadini and Shane Long. And let's say, pessimistic, 30 million. Right, so that gives us £60 million to spend. So I then get another striker, somebody maybe a bit younger, a bit more of a wonder kid that's eventually going to come through and be our main man. And then obviously we do need a right back to... I think Cedric is fine, so I wouldn't rush out to replace him. I just maybe get another youngster that maybe in a few years will overtake him. Or if you've only got a few million left, you could just get a decent backup for him. I'm quite happy with our centre-back options for the time being. In central midfield, I'm pretty happy. We're going to have to replace Stephen Davis at some point because he's ancient. But the age of the team is not too bad. We've got lots in their early 20s, which is nice. They're going to progress. Let's have a look at the under-23s. Obviously, Southampton is fabled for having a good youth academy. They are basically Liverpool's B team now. So they should have some good ones, and they do. I'm not going to show you them all. There's lots of players here that might be worth some money to sell. Like we've got here Boufal, who's worth 21 million. We can't recall him, but he's on loan at Celta Vigo. There's a bunch of players we can make cash on next season. But we've got Jake Vokins, who is a left-back, who's a decent left-back. He's only 18. A couple of his physicals are a little bit low, but he's a solid player, could progress quite nicely. And then we've got Callum Slattery, who's 19 now, needs to be sort of getting some first-team football or loan. He's a natural shadow striker. He's going to need a lot of work, I think, to really get to where it suggests he can. And then their under-18s, pretty poor, surprisingly. I suppose most of the half-decent ones have been moved forward. But, yeah, quite a bunch of players. And the good news is with this sort of setup, let's say go through these and make sure that some of these don't get in your team. Like, I think some of these guys will probably come back and get in your team. But even if none of them did, look at the money you're going to have next season to be able to sell a bunch of these. You're going to make 40, 50 million from just getting rid of all the crap out of your youth team. So that's quite nice. But yeah, I think I'm going to get rid of the 2 strikers that don't score any goals, because that's kind of pointless, them existing at this stage. And bring in another striker, bring in a right back, and maybe a left midfielder. I think if we've got money left over at a left midfield, because Redmond's a righty, isn't he? Yeah. So he can be our main right midfielder. Elanuisi's also a righty. Yeah, so a left midfielder, a first choice left mid, a first choice, a sort of average striker that can maybe rotate with Ings and Austin and stuff, and a backup right back. I think that would spend all our money nicely. But also in the comments, let me know what you think of the Southampton team, what you do to change it. If you do have a Southampton save, let us know what worked, what didn't, what formations, all that sort of good stuff. Help each other out. So once you've watched this, go see the comments and you might find something useful. There we go. If you enjoyed this little mini guide, please do leave a like if you enjoyed. I've just said enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, leave a like if you enjoyed it. But if you didn't enjoy it, leave a like anyway, because you're that sort of guy. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.